Did the CIA create Bitcoin? In this video, I'm going to look at the astrology to give you a definitive answer. Let's go. All right, so recently we've been hearing about this wild theory. I think Tucker Carlson is the one who kind of made it more popular. He just, at some event, he was kind of giggling and he threw out there that everybody knows it's the CIA that's behind Bitcoin. It's not really clear whether he was joking or whether that was his, firm and actual belief. But be that as it may, it's been triggering some debates around this. People have been talking about it. Is it is it possible? Is that possible? Could the CIA be behind this? Of course, we don't know really, it's part of the mystique and the mystery of Bitcoin that nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. We only know that a person or group, an entity, by maybe an artificial intelligence for all we know, by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, created Bitcoin and minted, and mined the first block, and also wrote the white paper, published a white paper, and left his messages and his cues here and there, and then kind of disappeared. To this day, still Satoshi Nakamoto holds a very sizable wallet, which if he were to return and cash in that wallet, especially if he does it after, at the kind of peak of the next bull run or something like that, he's going to be one of the richest people in the world, maybe the richest person in the world, if it's a person. But nonetheless, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It's not a Japanese dude who goes by the name of Nakamoto Satoshi, who has been kind of suffering from this case of mistaken identity for some time now. But the theory that CIA might be behind it is definitely interesting, and it warrants some attention. And what better than to look at the chart of Bitcoin? Because we have an actual very clear chart for Bitcoin, which is the Genesis chart, right? The Genesis chart, it tells us a very clear story about Bitcoin. So if the CIA was behind it, if it was really a psyop or a plan, a strategy, some kind of Machiavellian 4D, 5D chess type of move, to get, take control of the global financial system and outsmart China and Russia and everybody else who might want to create an alternative currency, then that should be written in a chart. There should be cues in a chart, because the astrology reveals the underlying and hidden dynamics, and you can't really hide, right? You can't hide stuff when it's in the astrology. It's always going to be in astrology. So when we look at the chart, we should be able to see cues for that in the chart, right? And if not, then at least we should be able to see some cues, some insights on what Bitcoin actually is all about. Like, what's the essence of this project? Because like any other thing, like any other project, like any venture, like any creation, there is a chart, and the chart shows you the soul of the thing. It shows you the underlying idea, okay? It shows you the ideal spirit. That's rather the right term, right? That's the perfect kind of the terminology, the correct terminology, philosophical terminology. It shows you the archetypal spirit of this thing, which is basically the underlying consciousness, right? The underlying will of the consciousness which created this and brought this into being, if you think of the universe as a field of universal consciousness where there are a multiplicity and infinitude of different perspectives, right? One of which is you and me and every other person, and also every venture and every project is a perspective like that. So this chart should be able to show us. And the chart that we're seeing here, it's the Bitcoin Genesis chart, right? So 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto made this, he mined this block, and he wrote some stuff in there as well about the current financial crisis which was going on at that time, which a lot of people took as a cue. And this chart, so what does it show us, right? It shows us, first of all, this is a serious project, right? So we've got the sun here in Capricorn, right? This is a long-term project, a patient, serious, long-term project, which is about structures, accomplishing certain structures in reality, right? And that's with the Saturn trine as well to the Sun. So very serious project, right? I'm pointing here to Sun towards Saturn, right? A very serious long-term project that is about material structures, right? This is Earth, right? This is Virgo and Capricorn. That's 2 times Earth. And actually the moon is in Earth. No, it's in fire, right? The moon is in fire. So we have a fiery moon adding to that a pioneering dimension, right? This is also a pioneering project, right? So obviously Aries is the sign of pioneers and the initiation, the new fire, right? So this is just kind of very broadly speaking, the parameters, but it's the asteroids and it's the aspects that tells us the real interesting insights, right? That's what where all the interesting details are hidden. So what else do we got? Let's dive a little bit deeper into this. Sorry. So we've got you can see here, we've got a Jupiter Mercury conjunction. You see here, Jupiter Mercury, and this Jupiter Mercury, it's on the star Altair. You see this, Altair? That's the 1st degree of Aquarius. So Jupiter and Mercury, when they're together in conjunction, we're basically talking about the massive expansion of commercial opportunities, right? Anytime you have Jupiter and Mercury together in a chart, in a natal chart or whatever the case may be, this is a expansion of everything that's commercial. Mercury is commercial, communication, commerce, trade, right? With Jupiter together, you're going to have big business opportunities, right? So this is big business. This is big, this is like the big state, the big league, right? This is not like some small thing. This is a big business, right? And it's with Altair. Altair is one of the most prominent, one of the strongest royal fixed stars, right? It's the one that elevates everything. It's the eagle. Altair, when something is conjunct Altair, it gets elevated to the global top level, right? All the way to the top. You reach the top of the top globally. So we're talking about big business on the highest global level, right? That's what we got here with Jupiter, Mercury on Altair. And now this is in a wide trine to this Saturn here. You see the Saturn? And the Saturn at the same time gets a square from Mars and Pluto. You see here, Mars and Pluto? Okay, Mars and Pluto are together. So Mars and Pluto is about fighting, right? It's also about like struggle, like a difficult struggle, going into the battle, right? Clashing with violent forces as well, antagonism, going into, gloves off and going into battle. And that's on banks. You see here? So you got Mars, Pluto on banks, battling with banks, right? In a square to Saturn, and Saturn is here with, you can see this? I'm not even sure if you can see this or if my picture is a little bit in the way. I'm just gonna move this a little bit around so you can see better. So you see here, the Saturn, it's with Moneta and Credo, right? It's really beautiful. Guys, once you learn to read this language, it's literally our experience, whatever we experience, whatever our reality is made up of, it's written, it's already, the parameters of the story already written. It's like the script of the movie is written, and we as actors, we get to improvise, right? We get to choose, how to play the roles and so on, but the basic frameworks are written. And what do you see here? Moneta and Credo on Saturn. Saturn is obviously the serious principle, the rejection as well, right? The limitation. And limiting what? Limiting and rejecting what? Rejecting. Credo is faith or belief, right? Credo is faith or belief. And moneta is money, right? So it literally says here, rejecting or limiting or rejecting the faith in money. Credo, moneta, right? Saturn, Credo, moneta. So attacking banks, you see here, struggling with and attacking banks in a square, right? Basically means in a tough relationship or in a kind of confrontational relationship at the same time with limiting the faith in fiat money. That's written in the chart, right? That's written in the foundation chart for Bitcoin, right? It's literally, this is really deep, guys. This is really deep. So I'm telling you, right? Once you learn to read these charts, you can decode the cosmic story, basically, right? That's what we're doing here. So that's what we're doing. So what else? There is more. This is not the only thing yet. I'm going to put my picture back here so we can see better. Okay, so what else do we got? We've got this is being attacked, right? So we know this already. Bitcoin obviously attacks the existing financial systems, attacks the fiat monetary system, and attacks the banks, right? All of that is written here. Yeah, I showed you right now. Saturn, Monetas Credo, banks with Mars, Pluto. And who's doing the attacking? Obviously, Uranus. Uranus rules Bitcoin and crypto, right? Uranus is the principle of innovation. Uranus is the principle of revolution, technological innovation, right? I showed in my previous videos how the whole Bitcoin and crypto cycle is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is in a direct opposition to Saturn. And this Uranus, basically it means innovation, technological innovation, and faith and belief in this innovation, right? And this kind of sparks of ideas that come from this innovation together with a faith in it. It's in the 9th house here. They're opposing the established monetary structures. And this Uranus, it's with Excalibur and Kaiser. Kaiser is for the emperor, and Excalibur is for the unique power that only you can wield, right? So only you, meaning Bitcoin here, can wield this unique power of innovation to attack the established structures of finance, right? As they are, existing, especially through the belief and the faith in the power of fiat money, right? All of this is written in the chart. What else? Now, the sun is super important. Obviously, the sun is about the whole character and the personality. And the sun should tell us, right, something. If there was some deception going on here, if there was some secret going on and so on, we should be seeing this somewhere in the identity, the personality, which is the sun. So the sun, it's where? It's here, as I said in the beginning, it's in Capricorn, right? So we have a serious project. This is a serious project. Who's with the sun? What's with the sun? What's telling us more about this sun? So we have here the asteroids that you can see. I'm going to zoom a little bit so you can see better, right? So we have here the asteroid Manhattan, okay? The sun is with Manhattan, and Yeti, and Atlantis, okay? How do we put the language of this together? And it's in an opposition to Sirius. I'm going to say something about this in a bit. Sirius and all these other asteroids that you see here, right? When you have an opposition like this with a fixed star, it counts as, it's just as important as a conjunction. Fixed stars, we only look at conjunction and opposition, right? Because they need to be in the same degree, right? On the elliptic. Okay, so sun with Manhattan. Obviously, Manhattan is a symbol for financial, the center of finance, the financial world, right? Wall Street and so on. And Yeti and Atlantis, what are they? They're kind of symbols for mystery, mysterious, unknown quality, right? The Yeti is like, what's the Yeti? Is like this creature that, that nobody knows who he is, what he is. Nobody knows, where he's from. There's just lots of mystery stories about the Yeti. And I'm going to tell you more, but before, just a reminder, if you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel. Also like this video. Just make sure to do that right now, before you forget, right? Okay, so let's go back. And the Yeti is there with Atlantis. Atlantis, similar, right? Atlantis is like this mysterious island, this mystery place, right? So we're talking about the identity of this complete mystery for the financial world. The financial world looks at Bitcoin the same way as you look at the Yeti, right? This is this strange thing. It keeps coming and going. It's super powerful. We don't know what it is, right? But we need to be part of it. First, they hated it. First, they said, reject it. Let's fight against it with that Mars, Pluto, and banks, right? And now they're starting to say, oh, we need to all add it to our portfolios. But still, they don't really know how to deal with it and what it is, right? And now, this sun constellation, it's here opposite Sirius, right? Sirius is the star that makes everything, that gives everything a cosmic place, right? It gives everything a cosmic voice. Sirius is the star of the cosmic voice, right? So when you have Sirius, it means that, Bitcoin has a message for the world, for the whole, right? For the whole of humanity, basically, for consciousness in our sector of our, solar system, of our galactic existence. That's what it really means. And Sirius is here together with a bunch of other asteroids. Very, very importantly, we've got here the asteroid exactly on Sirius, Satoshi. Satoshi. You see here? Satoshi is here. It's written in the chart. That's the identity, right? Sun directly opposite Sirius with Satoshi. The identity is Satoshi. And what else? Panacea. Panacea is like this healing, this, all-comprehensive healing. All-comprehensive healing. Then we've got Artemis. Artemis stands for fighting for the weak. Fighting against injustice and for the weak. We've got Saint Michael here, similar, fighting for justice, right? And eventually Robin Hood. Robin Hood, what Robin Hood stands for, right? The asteroid Robin Hood. It stands for the story of Robin. Every asteroid, every planet, every dwarf planet is always named after exactly what it stands for symbolically and mythologically, right? This is how consciousness works. You might ask yourself, why is that so? Other videos, I will explain to you why. For now, just keep in mind, that's how consciousness works, universal consciousness, right? It names itself after its meaning, right? This is why also your name, your personal name, you've been given a name, and that name expresses who you are in some ways. It's symbolic for who you are. It's more than just a couple of letters, right? And the same with the planets, asteroids, and so on. So we've got here, let's put this together. Satoshi, right? Satoshi, who has a cosmic message for humanity and who fights against injustice and brings a healing, a type of healing, right, for the oppressed, for like Robin Hood, for those who were not part of the system, for those who were disenfranchised out of the system, like Artemis, like Saint Michael, fighting for justice, fighting for a more just system, right? All of that is literally written in the chart, right? And with Satoshi as well. So now, is there anything here about CIA, right? Is there anything about subterfuge, about kind of, hidden motives, Machiavellian motives, deception? No, can't find nothing, right? Nothing. There is a asteroid Washington somewhere in London, but none of them, they're not strong. I didn't see anything around deception. I didn't see anything around, hidden agendas. I have a whole set of asteroids that are around deep state involvement. None of them were prominently placed when I checked this. So I can tell you definitively that it's not the deep state that created Bitcoin. They might say it now. Some people might say it now because they're trying to take over. They might try to do a hostile takeover. So it would be good for them to come out and say, like, we actually created this, right? But it's not true. And when will we know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, really? That remains to be seen for the future. There's a lot. This is a long story. We're just in the very, very beginning of Bitcoin. The story has just only yet begun. And in future, there's going to be lots of interesting activations on the chart that we can look at. And I'm sure that at those activations in future, we will gradually find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is. But for now, what we should know, what we should remember is that what I shared with you right now about Bitcoin, this is a project that has come into being quite literally in order to change the global system, overcome the power of the banks, and give a fighting chance for the disenfranchised, for those who were not part of the previous system, the economic system, and kind of reset that and allow others to participate in this. Who is behind this? Who wants this? Who wants this frontal attack on the existing systems? Who wants this kind of, innovative burst of monetary revolution, to be spread? Who knows? We can't tell you. We can't tell right now. We don't know right now, but I'm sure we'll find out in the coming time, in the future. So again, if you want to be part of this, if you want to learn more, we're going to do so much more on this channel on Bitcoin, on geopolitics, on spiritual, metaphysical themes as well. And we're going to learn how to read charts. We're going to learn how to maneuver and navigate and place yourself well in this crazy and dangerous world that we live in right now. So make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so yet. Also comment and tell me what you like to see next, how you want to engage, how you think about, what I shared with you here. Would love to have a conversation rather, going. Until the next time, I wish you all the best. This is Dr. V. Be blessed. Take care.